Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Intellectual Smackdown, the podcast where three big dumb idiots argue over stupid things that don't matter. This week we'll be fighting over cake versus pie. Real quick, I'd like to thank our good friend Chefman Sam for suggesting this topic today.
Woo!
Fighting for cake, on my left, otherwise known as the blue corner, is Gabe.
Yeah!
You're breaking the fourth wall here.
Cake!
On my right side, a little bit closer to me than Gabe is, also the red corner, is Connor. Fighting for pie.
I hate you, kid. I'm just kidding. You're pretty alright.
Now, Connor lost the...
Wait, what are you talking about? We haven't even decided.
Connor lost
What are you...
the traditional... What is the game that we flip?
We didn't even flip!
What is
didn't
the
even
game that
flip
we
a
normally
coin.
flip?
Daytona USA.
Daytona
for the
USA.
second
I
time.
already forgot. Connor lost the Daytona USA game for the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to be flipping Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
Woo!
For
Now-
the GameCube. Rated T for teen.
Shut the hell
I want to die, Gabe.
Call it in the air, boys.
up. Fire Emblem side.
Okay, none, I guess.
Ooh!
alright.
Hey,
All right.
gamers!
I don't want to scratch that one. That one I care about.
Well, good luck. He's got the longest arms. He can reach it from halfway
Fucking
across the room.
fruit roll-up arms just extend. Look, Stretch Armstrong.
It's impressive.
It really is.
Now, Gabe, I'm going to let you make your opening statements.
Alright, thank you, I will. Connor, if you'd not throw plastic on me and
Now,
have
let
a
me.
seat.
I wanted the plastic.
Oh, I got you. I'll give you the plastic. I can't reach. My arms aren't as long.
Connor, can you reach?
Can you reach across me? Alright.
This is bad for this is bad audio.
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
All right.
Whew. Alright, cool. There's only one good time of year to eat pie. Halloween. Cake can be eaten when it's your birthday, anniversary, retirement party, Christmas, and of course, most popular of all, on the day of your wedding. Personally, I've never heard of a wedding pie. A little history lesson. The history of cake dates back to ancient times. The first cakes were very different from what we eat today. They were more bread-like and sweetened with honey, nuts, and dried fruits. According to food historians, the ancient Egyptians were the first culture to show evidence of advanced baking skills. The Oxford English Dictionary traces the English word cake back to the 13th century. It is derived from keka, an Old Norse word. Medieval European bakers often made fruitcakes and gingerbread, and these foods could last many months. According to European historians, the precursors of modern cakes, round ones with icing, were first baked in Europe sometime in the mid-17th century. This is primarily thanks to advances in technology such as more reliable ovens, manufacture/availability of food molds, and ingredient availability, mostly refined sugars. Cake is easy to make, and dependent on the type, can be light, fluffy, and easy on the tongue, such as the chiffon cake or angel food cake. Or it can be heavy and packed with a myriad of spices and flavors, like chinoise cake, pound cake, or sponge cake. While nothing seems more enticing than a hot pie, as the pie cools, the crust hardens, making it more susceptible to crumbling, and who wants that? When you drop a piece of cake, you can clean it up rather easily, as the frosting is most likely going to be the thing you'll have to clean because the cake itself is compact. Whereas with pie, the content inside will spill out and the crumbs from the crust will fragment everywhere.
Oh no.
The last time Connor and I went one-on-one, he gave up. I'm not looking to beat him into submission again, but either way the result will stay the same. I'm gonna win. I'd like to preface this debate by saying that Connor knows he's going to lose, and that's why he baked Dylan's favorite pie days before the debate even started, attempting to sway our moderator's opinion in his favor. Of course, this isn't surprising. Collusion is the only way Connor could win this. Let's get this over with.
Okay, I want to start out.
Oh,
I just want
Connor.
to say something.
Oh, real quick.
I baked a pie as a sweet bonus to the shit I'm gonna lay down on you.
Okay, so my working theory is that Connor is only going to give us pie if he wins tonight. So he's already got, like, my subconscious thought of Connor potentially holding pie over my head, like, on his side, Gabe. But Connor, please make an argument.
Okay, alright.
In addition to the pie you've already prepared.
Pie. It comes in many different sizes. Can you... Gabe, I'm trying to talk here.
Was that the point?
Yeah, that was...
Oh, yeah, no, I knew that from the very beginning.
Damn
You
it.
hid it under a towel.
Cheater.
Pie. It comes in many different sizes and many different flavors. Pie is pie based on the fact that it consists of pastry dough filled with something. You can make pie out of literally anything you want.
Oh. No, please continue.
Literally
I won't
anything.
interrupt.
Anyway, the story of pie also begins in ancient Egypt.
Oh, look at that.
The Egyptians needed a constant food source to stay alive. Then a few genius Egyptians, James B. Cook and Edgar Allan Poe. Why are you guys laughing? I read this off Wikipedia.
Edgar Allan Poe. No,
Yes.
please continue.
Anyway, they discovered the pie seed, and they planted it all across the Nile River. The ancient pie consists of a fat-based bread, also known as a pastry, filled with honey, and baked at 375 in a convection oven. Soon the...
They weren't around back then.
Soon the ancient Egyptians would fill their pie with other fruits and meats. What? What's funny about that?
Keep going. Keep
No,
going.
please keep going.
I'm gonna have to fact check this at the end of this.
Yeah, I'm interested.
It
in
was
the
super
sources.
important during the time of imperialization due to it being nutritious, easy to store, and long-lasting. During the Roman Empire, pie was an essential part of their road transport, which spread pie into Europe. In the northern countries of Europe, pie was known as an essential part of the working man's diet. Fun fact, during King Henry IV's coronation, they served birds like peacocks in pies. Speaking of people who are inbred, early settlers...
Oh boy.
Oh no, please continue.
Oh boy.
Anyway, early settlers brought their pie recipes.
What the hell is
That's
this?
so funny. It's a double whammy because it's seen in bread and also they serve pies with pigeons in bread.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
boy.
good. No, please
That's a
continue.
multi-layered joke. That was real good.
That was masterful.
Anyway, early settlers... What are you laughing at, Gabe?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing at all. Please continue.
Early settlers brought their pie recipes to the New World and used local fruit and berries to fill their pies. Why mention the history of pies, you may ask? Well, it points out that pie has been part of human culture for a very, very long time. And I argue that if pie was not so abundant during these ancient times, we, you and I, would not be here today. Pie is so ingrained in human society that almost every culture has some version of pie. When you go to Grandma's house, what's the first thing you smell when you walk in?
Cookies.
Pie. Pie is the answer you're looking for. Now let's look at cake. Cake is less healthy. Cake is too sweet. Cake is the basic white chick of desserts.
Wow!
Oh boy.
Oh boy! I'm gonna kick your ass for that one.
No, don't interrupt. Let him have his moment.
Cake requires more work to make. Cake to frosting ratio is often overpowering. Cake lacks diversity, and you can only do so much with cake. And lastly, cake can only be one thing, sweet. You can't have a savory cake. It's literally impossible. With pie, you have so many different options. You got apple pie, you got fried pies, you got pork pies, chicken pot pie, meat pies, crumbles, berry pies, and my favorite, cream pies.
I saw that joke coming from a mile away.
You saw the joke coming, didn't you?
Oh my god. No, please continue, Connor.
There are so many different types of pie. You can have a different pie for every single meal you have for 2 months. Now, not only is pie the most diverse dessert out there, it is also one of the most important numbers of all time. The ratio of the circumference of a circle...
I can't believe this is what you're... Oh, God.
The ratio of the circumference of a circle can be seen literally everywhere you look. Where there's a circle, there's pie. You even use pie to calculate the circumference of a cake. Gabe, last time we debated, I gave you the victory.
Oh, yeah, right.
This time, I'm not giving up.
All right, that was a good argument.
That's a good starting
That was
point.
a very good
I
starting
actually
argument.
did research.
Oh my
was
god,
very
yeah.
good.
The Egyptians.
It's true.
Edgar Allan
Plenty of
Poe.
It's true.
What, James Cook?
Look it up. It's
my
on Wikipedia.
favorite historical baker.
To let you know that I did look it up on
Oh
Time
my
Magazine,
God.
the website.
Oh, wow. I used Wikipedia.
Oh my god, his name is Cook and he made pies.
Wow.
He actually planted pies.
Oh my god, you're so right.
Yeah.
His name should be Farm.
God! Oh my god!
Jesus.
No way!
Okay, so
You should feel bad for that one.
to start this argument out, I want to lay down my general bias going into it.
Okay.
Oh wait, sorry. Before you continue, I have pie. I baked pie.
I know you did.
You did what?
I baked pie.
Okay, so it shouldn't be farm or cook. It should be bake.
Yeah, James Blake.
James Bake.
Dylan, here you go. Hey Jacob, I even got you some. Here you go. I got myself one, and here we go, Gabe. Here we go.
Gabe, I just want you to know that eating that pie is admitting defeat.
He already ate it. You're a piece of shit, Connor. I hate you.
This is... Alright.
Okay, so I'm going to lay down my bias before we get into this.
Yeah.
Coming into it, here's where I stand. A good pie is a lot easier to come by and is a lot more acquirable, I should say.
Connie is struggling to get that piece of pie, are you? Huh.
It's easier to make a good pie than it is to make a good cake. So if I'm just looking for something good, I'm going to swing towards pie. But if we're going up into the realms of greatness, a cake will always reach levels that a pie could never achieve. So an amazing pie does not even come close to an amazing cake, but a pretty solid pie is going to be better than a pretty solid cake.
Okay.
And also cake. Yeah, no, you have to be really, really in on that cake and have a really, really nice boy before it'll be worth it. Like a wedding cake.
Yeah.
But if you're just looking for a nice, quick dessert that you can just make like Connor did, pie's going to be the heavy hitter every time. Now, Gabe, given that and given Connor's pretty stellar opening argument, I'm going to give you your shot to make a counterpoint here.
Try the
Connor,
cake. What do you think when you...
there's no
Did you
cake
just say
here.
try the cake?
Oh, God. I meant pie.
And Connor's argument highlights my viewpoint already. He even brought a pie in.
Yeah, I know.
It's a pretty solid pie, but an excellent cake would surpass this every time.
But it's really good.
It's pretty
Really
solid
good pie.
cake.
Good to know.
It's pretty solid cake, Connor.
It's a really good pie.
I can't believe you baked cake for the argument.
Way to give me the
My
victory
favorite
again.
one, strawberry cake. Delicious.
This is a cherry pie, Dylan's favorite. Fun fact.
Yeah.
I do really like cherry pie.
It's almost as if Connor specifically asked that.
This crust is pretty good, too. I'm going to hand you that one.
Thank you.
Hey, Sam. Thanks for hooking me up with a free slice of pie.
Can I make my argument now?
Yeah.
Thank
Go
you
hit him
very
with a
much.
counter argument, Gabe.
Thank you. I will. We're going to go to a literary side of this. Statements involving pie are usually negative. Easy as pie is arrogant. Eat humble pie is spiteful. And pie in the sky refers to an empty wish or promise. On the other hand, phrases involving cake are more positive. Being caked up is being with a guy or girl you like or flirt with. You can't have your cake and eat it too is a meaningful philosophical term. And when things sell like hotcakes, they're popular. But more importantly, when something is the icing on the cake, it is implied that it made something good even better. Connor, I'm going to ask you something while you're grubbing on your pie and having a good time. Have you ever heard
He
of...
ate your slice. Oh, that's so
He
good.
didn't eat my slice, he just took bites out of it.
That's
It's
so
like-
funny.
Yeah.
My mom did, actually.
Oh,
I was like, hey, Mom, try my pie.
okay. Well then,
Fun fact.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to more...
What, no whipped cream? No
Oh
ice
my
cream to
God.
put on top of this
Oh
pie?
my God, you're back in... Okay,
I
that'll
can
be in the
grab
future.
some.
That'll be in the future. Anyway,
I can grab some.
I need to set this aside.
Before you... Here, I got you. I'll move my piece of garbage.
No,
Before
you suck.
before you go get whipped cream or whatever you're going to do, I was going to preface this by saying, when you hear, the phrase, as American as apple pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that fill you with confidence?
It fills me with the American dream.
Okay. But I'm going to say that deeply undersells America. Because an apple pie is nothing more than a variant of an apple strudel. And Americans are much tougher than a wimpy Austrian pastry. Isn't that right, Connor?
No, I don't want you slam dunking on Austria right now. All right.
Why, do you think they're going to assassinate the Archduke for that?
Oh my God. Please don't slam dunk Austria on the podcast, Gabe.
Why?
But also, he makes a very good point. America's much stronger than a wimpy Austrian pastry. But also, Gabe.
What? It's
Don't slam dunk
there's
on
a-
Austria.
There's another phrase using cake, and it's a piece of cake, which is going to be this argument for me.
Okay.
Which is...
Piece of cake.
It's a piece of cake.
Oh, so that was your point?
Also...
Oh, okay.
You know, honestly, I was too busy eating my delicious pie.
Man, it almost as if Connor keeps retracting back to his physical evidence instead of providing a proper argument. Isn't that a little strange, Dylan? It's a little odd.
You know, I have a serious question that I want to bring up right now. Connor made a very excellent point. Pies can be savory, and you can have a delicious meat pie or a chicken pot pie, but cakes... Gabe, can cakes achieve that?
Yes, Dylan, because I'm going to say one word. Lasagna.
Okay, you're
That's
gonna have to go in a
That's
little
not a
deeper
cake.
on that.
That's
Lasagna.
not a cake, it's lasagna.
Lasagna.
Okay,
That
let the man
is-
make his point.
Is pasta-flavored cake. Cake, by definition, is something layered with a frosting or a, cream in between the layers, okay? What lasagna is pasta, okay? And on this pasta, it is wavy. Because it is structured to be placed on top of each other. And usually, when you take a piece of lasagna, what does it have? It has your cheese and sauce on top. You've got your first layer of lasagna. In the middle, you have your usually meat sauce, ricotta. You know, I come from a big Italian family. My grandma used to put sometimes she put chives in there. Really, really good lasagna. And then another layer of pasta. And below that, there could be more meat, more sauce, more cheese, whatever you want. But because it's layered, and there is a filling in between, capped off by a top layer, lasagna is, though it is a pasta, and the lasagna noodles itself is a noodle, it is technically a pasta cake.
So what's sponge cake? There's no frosting, there's no filling.
Sponge cake is the same thing as coffee cake, which is...
It's not cake then, according to your definition.
Okay, then how
Which
about
has
this?
layers.
Then how about this? When you stuffed pigeons, right? These poor pigeons, these birds.
Peacocks.
Question.
Okay, sorry.
Were the pigeons still alive when they got stuffed into their pies?
Probably. It's
Did you have
medieval.
to eat feathers? Because I'm not really into that. And the entrails, come on, man.
The hard beak, too. And
I don't want a bite of beak, man.
Do I?
A pregnant...
Oh, hey, talk about real filling,
A
baby!
pink peacock.
But also,
Did you say pee peacock? I hate you.
there's no
Never
such thing
moderating
as
again.
pregnant birds, because they lay eggs.
Oh
I
my
don't know
god.
why. Anyway.
Oh, see, if the bird is pregnant and you stuff it into a pie, then you get a little boiled egg in there.
Should have to eat the shell. Oh.
You just gotta crack the shell open.
But
you gotta dig in there,
you
man.
can have cake and not have layers. There are multiple different types of cake. And lasagna, I don't think is a cake. Yes, something can have layers like onions, but you don't think that's a cake.
Because the onion is singular, Connor. The onion is one thing. It's not layers of a bunch of different kind of onion. It's just onion.
Connor, your onion argument is a little bit short-sighted. I'm not gonna lie here.
There are
Connor,
many things with layers that aren't considered cake.
Okay.
throw a couple at me.
Lasagna.
Okay,
What?
throw a
There's-
couple real
there's
examples
pie.
at me.
Pie has layers, but it's
No,
not a cake.
I would
because
argue
it's
that
No.
pie-
It's flake.
as a
Here's
filling.
It's
Here's
a
the thing.
flaky.
I would argue that pie doesn't have layers because it is one whole crust with a filling.
Okay, let's just say cake is a pie because it has filling and there's breading around
But pie
it.
doesn't have a crust.
Pie
Pie
does
does
have a crust.
Not
Cake
pie.
doesn't have a
Cake
crust.
doesn't have a crust. Thank you.
No,
Pie?
but as I
Okay,
said in my
new
definition...
question for Connor.
Yes.
New question for Connor.
Uh-huh.
Connor, I feel that pies can be a bit limiting. Things that you can do with cakes, the decorative side, the different styles of cake, cannot be achieved with pie because you're locked down to crust and filling. What can you possibly do to make a pie more exciting than just crust plus filling?
You can rivet the crust.
I don't want to
You
get metal involved in my pie.
There's
Nice
decorative. There's decorative leaves, but honestly, pie doesn't need decoration. It's the everyman's dessert.
Same thing with a hamburger.
Everyone can eat it. It doesn't really need to look good to taste good.
But that's not exactly what I'm arguing. I'm saying that even as a flavor palette, pie is pretty one-dimensional, while cake can be a strawberry cake with a fun, like, mousse filling. Or it can be a vanilla cake with a strawberry filling. I'm not really coming out with the big hitting answers because I'm not arguing for it, but that's what I'm saying, is that cake can have different components that make up the cake rather than crust plus filling, and the filling is the only interchangeable option. I think that the crust is limiting to the pie. How can you prove me wrong?
I mean, I don't think you're wrong, but I feel like the filling is like the perfect thing it needs. Like, you can honestly put anything in a pie. You can put a plastic fork into a pie, still be a pie. You can put urine. You can put anything.
You are honestly arguing for some of the worst pies I've ever heard right now. You have so many options. You could go pecan pie.
Pecans.
Why did you choose plastic fork?
It's to prove the point.
That's your argument.
If to prove the point, if you like plastic forks, you can make a pie out of it.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna make a urine pie someday.
If you want, you might be into that.
Oh man, I'm really hankering for some urine pie.
Piss pie sounds spectacular about now. I should bring it to my next golden shower meeting.
There's no pea cake. I mean, I guess there could be.
I've seen enough Filthy Frank to know that there's definitely...
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Gabe,
yeah.
You want to swing back on that one?
Sure. I actually have some photographic examples that I was going to provide. Obviously, you can't put them up because Connor doesn't want to, which is fine. And he says, even if he says he's going to, he wouldn't. Dylan, what are these things that you notice a lot about these pies? I'm just going to scroll through. Just hold on a sec. Just going to scroll through. Okay, get a good look, right? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Couple more. A few more. Yep. Cool.
Gabe,
what do you notice a lot about those pies?
They're pretty much the same outside of the filling. The only difference is just a filling.
Yeah.
They have some decorative differences, like the
slits and the cross paddling. Yeah, I got you. I understand, which is true.
Woven pie.
Yeah, woven pie is good. But I'm going to show you some cakes now, okay? Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, I just typed in pie and cake into Google, okay? Mm-hmm.
See, we got a nice Oreo cake. We've got a delicious-looking chocolate cake with some beautiful flowers. A strawberry chocolate cake with a beautiful filling. A really solid double chocolate cake. Peanut butter chocolate. Gabe, we've got options here.
We have a lot of options.
It's on looks only.
I would argue that the look does affect the taste.
I don't think it does, in my opinion. When it comes to pie, like, it's so basic and so easy to make.
It's almost as if you argued that the cake was the basic white girl of the dessert world. And now you're saying
Get back to your side of the couch.
I'm going to go ahead and call you out on that one.
Everyone likes cake.
I'm going to...
Why not have a wedding pie?
I'm going to swing back here to Connor.
Yeah, please do.
Connor, you make an excellent argument that pie is a lot easier to make than cake. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to point that out, that Gabe...
I'm sorry.
I don't know what...
I'm going to swing back to Connor and tell you something that you know. Yes.
I just wanted to make that very clear. Connor made a very excellent argument earlier. That cake is a lot more difficult to make than pie. Pie is an easy everyman's dessert. Connor made one himself.
He did. And he's the everyman of us all.
I don't see you making a cake, Gabe.
What's
up with that?
I'm going to tell you why. Of course, pie is very easy to make. I'll give him that. Pie is, even if you had one hand, you could make a pie. For all you one-handers out there, please send us pictures of your pie.
I don't want those pictures. I don't want those.
For all you one-handers?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? I'm sorry.
Now, so pies are cheap, yes. And earlier talked about how a cheap cake isn't as good as a cheap pie.
Absolutely.
Right? But you can make cheap cakes. Baskin-Robbins does them all the time in the form of ice cream cakes. Now, that sounds a little demeaning, Baskin-Robbins. But think about it. They're not using cake ingredients. They're using ice cream to make a cake.
So
and
it's
just relatively
ice
cheap.
Cream in the shape of a cake.
What about an ice cream pie?
I haven't seen one. Never heard of one.
I can do it right now if I wanted to.
You can make an Oreo crust, and then fill it with some kind of ice cream and top it with chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, but here's the thing. I don't think that would be as good as an Oreo ice cream cake. With the ice cream cake, you can do the layers in the middle. Like, you could do a layer of chocolate in the middle of the cake and then top it off with something more exciting and more presentable. And you could throw that little Oreo crust thing going on the bottom. You can make that the bottom layer, would you say the foundation of our cake. With a pie, it's more locked in. Connor, what do you have to say about that?
People are a creative species, and they can overcome anything. Like, for example, if you have the Oreo pie, you can put whipped cream on it. It's like a blank slate. You can put whatever you want on the whipped cream. Like, you can put the Oreo and present it like a cake, but it's a pie.
I'm going to present this fact to it. If that was the case, and with the case of all pies, as I saw Connor struggling to get a piece of pie on his fork earlier, cake is easy to cut into. Because the frosting makes it easy to score. There's no fear of leaving the bottom crust behind or having the contents inside the pie spill out when you put it on your plate. Because it's all compact.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm not a fan of frosting. It is way too sweet.
Now, Gabe, I'm with Connor on this one, depending. I would have to say most of the cake I've had in my life has a pretty poor frosting to cake ratio.
It's usually always from, like, Costco or Safeway. And
why are you throwing out brands right now, you amateur?
They just squirt on the frosting.
Get called out.
Gabe, what do you have to say about the frosting ratio in most cakes nowadays?
Most cake nowadays, obviously there's a as I can attest, there's a large people problem in America, and we're all kind of gluttons. We can all admit, be it for food or for money or for drawn pictures of
Bowserette.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah!
Yeah! All right.
I was going to throw out gluttons for pain.
Yeah.
Like, look at Connor with one ply toilet paper.
Okay.
Let me live! I'm not hurting anyone but myself!
But yourself?
Okay. 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 Gotta ring it back in. So your question was the frosting to, like, cake ratio?
Yeah, what's going on with the frosting
right,
ratio,
right.
Gabe?
So, I want to put this forth, okay? Cake Boss, Cake Wars, Ace of Cakes, Extreme Cake Makers. All of these are TV shows centered around cake. And the reason they aired or are still airing is because people have an interest in cake. How many shows are about pies? I'll reiterate that in a sec, but I want to go back to the point of the frosting. In these cakes, like you said earlier, if you want a spectacular cake, it has to be a masterpiece. If you want a cake to reach the upper echelon of godhood, you gotta make it look nice. It is a bit off-putting when you have this triple S-tier cake at a wedding, and you cut into it, and, like, the layer of frosting is 2 fingers thick, and there's just a little bit of cake. I will admit that frosting and cake ratio nowadays is getting more toward frosting and less toward cake. But it is all dependent on what the person wants. So if you go to a birthday party and they have carrot cake there, you're going to be like, ugh, carrot cake. I like vanilla cake. But it's not your preferential choice, right? These problems can be overcome by what you prefer. If you're going to buy a cake, you're going to say, I want to find a cake with not as much frosting and more cake. And you can easily find that. If you are a large boy and you love to smear frosting on yourself while no one's looking, you go.
Are you a large boy that likes to smear frosting on
No,
yourself
I'm not a
when no
fan
one's
of
looking?
frosting either. But I'm a fan of myself some cake. If you're a large boy who likes to smother frosting on himself, you're going to be like, I'm going to get a cake where it shows a lot of frosting, or the frosting is thick. Because it is all based on your choice. And I'm going to go back now, springboard back to my point.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
I actually want to let Connor respond to that
please
real
do,
quick.
please do.
Connor, Gabe makes a good argument towards the preferential aspect of cake. What do you have to say?
You can... There are a lot of different pies also. But also, I wanted to get on this, the Cake Boss type thing.
Yeah, the cake shows.
Yes, but you yourself can... Unless you're a cake boss, you can't make those yourself. But I was watching What's the show?
Gabe,
Pioneer Woman on the Food Channel.
Okay.
Very good show. I recommend. Let me
Let
do
him
my
use his
hands.
hands.
well, don't put your hand in between you and the mic.
It's not gonna do anything.
Pioneer
I
Women.
lost my thought.
Pioneer Women.
Pioneer
The show
Women.
you're watching.
Pioneer Woman. She bakes so many pies.
Mm.
It's incredible. I love Pioneer Woman.
Okay. You love Pioneer Woman, huh?
Yeah, she's
Weren't
great.
you the one telling me that you did your research about an hour ago?
Yes.
Okay.
I was watching Pioneer Woman on the Food Network.
And
I
you-
recommend.
Okay.
I was installing.
No, Gabe.
Never mind.
Connor needs a little bit of help here, so
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a point at you real quick.
Okay, please do.
You make an excellent argument towards the ability to choose your own cake and have your own cake preference, but I would argue that hitting the right pie for everybody is a lot easier than hitting the right cake for everybody. What do you have to say about that?
I will say, to go back on the point that I first made in my opening argument, there's only one good time of year to eat pie. That's Halloween. Because pumpkin pie can
Okay,
be...
all
a
right.
pumpkin pie... Hello, this is my point, thank you. A pumpkin pie can be made all year for all types of people, right? It's pumpkin pie. What do you expect out of a pumpkin pie? You expect pumpkin pie.
I expect it on Thanksgiving, actually, not
Oh,
on
really?
Halloween.
Interesting. That's,
That's a Thanksgiving dessert, if I do say so myself.
You can eat pie anytime. You can eat pumpkin pie during the fall. And then for Christmas, I think of like pecan pies. And then
Say that one more time.
Pecan.
One more time.
Pecan.
It changes every time. Every time he says it.
pecan.
A pecan pie or an
Pickle
apple
pies.
pie. During Easter, I think of like cherry pies, blackberry
Easter's
pies.
a cake holiday, if
Yeah.
I do say so myself.
I don't know about you guys, but I haven't had cake on Easter. I always had pie on Easter.
Okay.
I don't know
Again,
if it's just a me
That is a
thing.
personal family lifestyle kind of thing.
In the comments, comment if you have pie for Easter.
All
Is
right.
Easter a pie or cake holiday? Somebody please settle this for
Someone.
us.
Man, whoa.
During the summer, banana cream pies.
This man is trying to sabotage my
There's
train of
coconut
thought.
cream pies.
I just wanted to know what you were saying.
You can
earlier.
have a
'Cause I
chocolate
can't
pie
remember.
literally
There
anytime
was
you
something
want.
about
Okay, so
the
Chicken
here's
pot
what
pies.
here's what I'm gonna.
Ever had a good meat pie?
I'm gonna reiterate what I said to Gabe
Yeah.
real quick, so he can get back on track.
Yeah.
Gabe, I said that it's easier to get people to all
right,
band
right,
around the same pie
right.
than it is
Okay.
to get them to band around the same cake.
Right. Okay, yeah, because like Connor said, it's your everyman's like pastry. It's really easy to get a bunch of people to like something like haphazardly thrown together that has a little bit of everything for everyone. But if you see a good cake at a wedding, right, or at a birthday, or during an anniversary, even you get your old friends back together and they haven't seen you in a while. And they're like, here's the cake. They're gonna be like, ooh, that's a nice looking cake. Cake has the aesthetic advantage that pie simply does not have. Pie is brown and usually covers what's inside unless it's cross-patterned. Cake, you can make it look like anything you want.
Connor, do you have something to say?
When I look at a cake, all I see is frosting.
Okay.
And that just turns me off cake.
When I look at a pie, all I see is the crust.
Yeah.
And if I'm not a crust guy, what am I supposed to do?
Then just eat the filling.
But okay, here's the thing. I would rather eat plain cake than plain pie filling.
I give you that point, but pie isn't a pie without the crust.
Okay.
You can still have a cake with just the cake part.
Okay.
Unless it's lasagna.
Yum. I'm gonna put something.
Just the lasagna noodles.
Just the lasagna.
Just the noodles, man.
Yum. I'm gonna put something forward. You wake up in the morning, get your coffee, and you're like, I need something to go with this coffee. You're going to look for some breaded pastry. Obviously-
I was going to say I would look for an English muffin and butter that.
Okay,
But you
that's
continue.
but that's a type of, it's not a pastry technically, but it's a wheat. It's got bread, and it's got carbohydrates in it.
Mm-hmm.
So does pie crust.
Hold on, young man.
Mm-hmm.
You could either get a slice of pie, or you could get something that's meant to go with coffee cake, or pound cake, or gingerbread cake. You could, theoretically, set your morning off so right that you feel great for the rest of the day just because you had something with the most important meal of your day. Remember, kids, eat breakfast.
No, Connor, if you don't have something to say in response to that, I do, but I'm going to give you a chance to make that argument before it comes out of my mouth.
Like I said, you can make pie out of anything. And online, I was doing some research, and there is bacon and egg cake, which is perfect. It's a quiche.
Yeah.
It's cake or pie? Because you said bacon and egg
pie.
cake.
I meant pie. Sorry. And that's the perfect breakfast.
Quiche is pretty good.
I would argue
My
that
mom makes a mean
It's a
quiche.
really good pie for breakfast.
Quiche.
And
You know-
now, mind you, it doesn't go with pound cake coffee. But you can also have pound cake and coffee with the quiche.
Gabe, I would have to say that my chosen breakfast would not have coffee involved.
Okay.
So what do I do if I'm out here trying to drink a glass of orange juice with my breakfast and none of the things that you just listed go with my orange juice?
Chiffon cake. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you I'm gonna give you a little lore about what the chiffon cake is. A chiffon cake is your poor man's angel food cake. It is your light cake. It is your fluffy cake. It is the cake that goes with every meal of the day. And you can make it whatever flavor you want. Because chiffon cake by itself is your spongy yellow cake. But if you want, you want to slam it down with some orange juice, look at that. You can do it. It doesn't have a distinct flavor, but it's just filling enough that when you go to lunch, you're like, I'm hungry, but I'm not as hungry as I'd be if I had, eaten eggs and bacon. Because your body breaks that down faster, because it's more protein. With your chiffon cake, your wonderful, wonderful poor man's angel food cake, you got yourself your carbs, and you got yourself your glass of OJ, this is Dylan, and you say, hey, I like this orange juice, and there's a good fluffy filling to go with it.
Wait, take a pause.
I'm taking a pause.
I would not say I like this orange juice.
Dylan doesn't say, Dylan probably be like, I fuck with this orange juice.
No, I love it with all my heart, Gabe.
I got you. No, you're not allowed to talk.
Or Jacob.
Jacob, do you have something to say about orange juice?
Speak loud.
You gotta scoot up here real quick.
What do you want?
I was actually gonna go after you.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Speak loud.
I'm done pretty
Okay.
much.
So I'm gonna throw. This is me throwing Connor a bone because.
Obviously, he needs
Oh,
as much
Well,
as he
no,
can get.
because he stated it in his original opening argument, but he's completely forgotten, and a lot of your argument hinges around the fact that pies are surrounded by crust, but you're completely leaving out chocolate cream pies and lemon meringues that completely remove that top and would thus change the entire formula of a pie.
Okay.
You would be able to decorate the top.
That's what I was trying to say. With
You
the
can
whipped
decorate.
cream.
You can decorate the top, but you're still stuck with the crust as a base for the pie.
You're stuck with the base. You're stuck with the batter of the cake for the base of the cake.
But your batter is a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for?
You can-
Moddable, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Then
Customizable.
customizable than your pie crust. You
could
got a
make
couple options with pie crust, but with a cake, you have a lot more flavor options. That's where I'm sitting right now. Unless Connor can prove me otherwise and convince me.
Are you saying
as
cake
the
has
moderator.
more flavor options than pie?
Marginally so.
Okay, you can't have a savory cake unless you count lasagna for some reason, which is only one type of savory thing. With cake, you got chicken pot pie.
with cake?
You got God dang it! I want to die. Anyway,
No, keep going, Connor. You're on a hot streak.
chicken pot pie. You got pork pie,
Uh-huh.
which is very popular in England and other countries.
God save the queen.
God save the fucking queen. Anyway, you got
Let's
beef
not
pie.
be slam dunking on the queen right now.
I
alright?
love the queen. Let me love her. The queen. The queen. If you're watching this right now,
If you're watching the podcast.
come to my wedding. It's tomorrow. I'm marrying a piece of pie.
Okay, to bring this back around, Gabe,
That was wild.
he does make a pretty damning
That was
argument
wild.
on the savory pies.
Yeah.
You can't achieve that. Even if you count lasagna, you've got that one lasagna option, Gabe. You don't have any other savory forms of cake. Well, you can pretty much do any kind of meat in a pie and call it good.
Yes.
And the crust really does complement a meat pie very nicely.
Yes. But I do have something that involves meat
Lasagna.
and is called a cake. No.
Is it meatloaf?
No, it's not.
It's the best singer of all time.
No, Gabe, please continue. I don't want to think about that too much.
What?
Do you not know who Meatloaf is?
Stop. No, we're not going to do this. I need to buckle down and focus on this.
Okay.
Let Gabe have his moment.
Okay. Dylan and Connor and Jacob. All of us are lads, right?
Yes.
Small lad, but yes.
Lad. This is
Long
it's a
lad.
plural.
Laddie, I would say.
Okay. We got a laddie and 3 lads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm a lad either.
Why?
Connor's a ladette.
Can you let me talk?
I feel like I'm a boy. Continue.
But please continue.
I'm so sorry.
Pie was consistently referred to by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson during the height of WWF programming as female genitalia. But on the other side of the coin, cake is predominantly used as a comparison to a well-figured or well-toned butt. And I think we as the gents, right, can appreciate a well-toned butt. Jacob, can I get an opinion?
Dylan's gay, so he's out.
Oh, he's gonna. Hey, take a
Put up
seat.
your damn dukes right now.
Take a seat.
Connor, get me the chair.
Take a seat. Take a seat. Take a seat. All right. Wow.
Oh man.
Oh man, I shouldn't have
Just
asked
because
for that. I shouldn't have asked for that outside opinion.
Boys can have cakes too.
Okay. Wow. That came out of left field. Right.
Man, I knew if Jacob's brought on the podcast, one of these days he's going to throw me under the bus for literally anything. If he's allowed to speak, I'm going to get railed at some point. That's how this podcast is. God damn it.
Sorry, Whitney. Wow, I cannot focus. Okay.
Right.
You're talking about well-toned butts.
Oh, hey, I get it, because attaboy, go Cavs. I mean, go Cougars. Right.
Yeah, Cougars.
But
Ow. Cougars. Jesus Christ.
Connor, stop.
What's wrong with me, Dylan?
Let Gabe make his argument.
but rounding off to my argument, if it's called cake and it's got some meat on it, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Okay. I feel like the pie, quote unquote, is more important than the cake.
This
Because
is
that's
not.
what you put your pee-pee
We're
in.
talking about food. We're talking about crusts and delicious icing. We're not talking about.
I know what we're talking about.
We're not talking about intercourse right now.
I
Which
know
is
what
what
you're
you're both
talking
bringing
about.
this into. No more intercourse talk.
I know
Connor.
you can stick your pee-pee in a pie also. I think it's way harder to
It was in a movie.
stick your pee-pee inside of a cake.
Oh, that's hot bullshit right
Oh,
there.
that is some smoking BS. Have you ever been balls deep inside of a red velvet? I don't think so.
I want to take a little break here.
Yeah,
Main argument.
Please do.
And I want to settle something that's on my mind that neither of you are prepared for.
Okay.
Cheesecake, good or bad?
Oh, bad. Cheesecake sucks.
Connor, you.
I don't... I really like caramel cheesecakes, but that's it.
There's not
Like,
been
I don't-
one
I'm not a
cheesecake.
big
But
fan.
I've had a couple slam dunk cheesecakes, man.
Then I must have not had them.
That's
Because
my-
all
that's
the
the
cheesecakes I've
adjective.
had are actual hot
It's
garbage.
like, I did have some good cheesecakes.
Smoking hot
before.
garbage. All cheesecakes I've had are smoking
It's just got a nice. Here's the thing about cheesecakes. It's got a really, really nice texture to it that I can't get in any other kind of cake.
Yeah.
Fun fact, cheesecake is technically a pie. I read it on Wikipedia. It's pretty good.
I did not know that.
No wonder they suck.
Oh.
It also has the word cake in its name.
Well.
Both of you are taking a hit for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, back.
Like how there was no even just like debate if we took it or not. We just knew it was bad. You're right. You were right. That was I did not expect that. Yeah,
Alright.
I did not expect that.
Well, I think that should be about where we wrap up this argument, boys.
Do we have any final statements?
Gabe, make a final statement real quick.
I will. Ready?
Yes.
Go for it.
If you ask somebody if they want a piece of cake, they're going to say yes. If you ask somebody if they want a piece of pie, they'll be like, is it gluten-free?
Cake has flour in it.
Cake is so much better because
Cake has
if you ask someone if
Cake
they
has
want
gluten
cake,
in it. What are you? This isn't
everyone's gonna. If I go downstairs and ask your mom if I were to bring in a piece of cake or a piece of pie, obviously she already had the piece of pie because she ate my piece. Thanks to you.
That's
asshole.
my piece that you're pointing at.
Well, whatever the piece of shit is on the floor, right? Why are you holding?
I'm holding his hand so he doesn't scream again.
So Connor's got an off button. Wow, Jacob was very underhanded.
Well, say that into the mic next time, big
He's
boy.
very underhanded.
Jacob just said Dylan likes men.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Stupid women.
Next week, gay versus straight. No, we're never tackling
I feel like
that
gay
one.
is way better.
We're never tackling that
We're
one.
not even going to touch that one, gamers. We're not even going to touch that one.
Connor, throw out your final statement.
Throw out your final argument, and then we'll tell stories.
Cake has gluten. Like, and that doesn't make sense. Anyway,
Okay,
I'm still talking, Dylan. I'm very passionate about this topic
being very aggressive
because
with Mr. Moderator.
I handcrafted a piece of pie.
Yeah.
And it felt
piece?
so...
He only crafted one piece. His mom did the rest of the work.
Anyway, I worked so hard for it.
Yeah.
But not that hard, because pie is really easy to make. It was fun. Alright, continue.
Cool.
Sorry, that's my...
Alright, to conclude, being a night owl is always going to be better than an early bird.
What the hell?
It's not even a question. Like, come on, guys.
Oh my god. Wow, you really... How long were you waiting for that one?
I've been waiting this whole episode.
I was going to say.
Wow.
You came up pretty
I
strong
know I
with
could
that
slip
one.
that in there somewhere.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty good.
That was a decent argument.
Yeah.
Good points on all sides.
Yeah.
Gotta admit, Gabe's got the historical side, and Connor's got his random bullshit that he made up side.
Edgar Allan Poe and James Cook.
I read it on Wikipedia.
As the ancient Egyptians.
Check it out. It's on Wikipedia.
Wow.
You edit it yourself.
I did.
Oh no.
And Connor's IP banned from editing Wikipedia ever again.
Let's dox him.
Alright, is there any... What do we talk about?
Do we have any stories?
Got cake or pie stories.
About like, and these could be like loosely based. It could
Any
be
like birthday party
That's
stories?
what I mean. It could be based around like birthday cakes, weddings, anniversaries you've been to, whatever.
Okay, Gabe, for the record,
Yes.
my grandpa Jim, I love him to death. He died about a year ago.
Okay.
One of my favorite people in the whole world.
Mhm.
Every time we would go over to his house, he would do one of three things. He would either get us a cake, make us milkshakes, or get us pies. So, as a kid, I was the one that really liked pies.
Okay.
So he used to call me he used to call me like pie boy and stuff like that. Because every time I would come over there, I would get a slice of pie and he'd be like, "Dylan, you really like those pies, don't you?" I love Grandpa
too
Jim.
wholesome
This is
for
very
this
wholesome.
I
podcast.
love Grandpa Jim. Yeah, he used to get pies especially for me at some point because I was really the only one that liked the pies. And the rest of my family was like moderately okay about the pie, but I would always pick up a slice of that pie.
And I really feel bad.
That's really
And I
nice.
really miss Grandpa Jim, but
That's real.
thank you, Grandpa Jim, for getting me pies as a kid when I liked them better than cake.
Shout out to Grandpa Jim for.
Can we get 50 likes? This is so
No.
sad.
Alexa.
Alexa, play that one song when something is so sad. Playing Despacito.
So this whole pie versus cake argument reminds me a bit of my good old Grandpa Jim.
Old Grandpa Jim.
Mhm.
Okay, do we have any birthday stories or anything? Because I got one.
Oh, I have one more thing. Pizza pie. That's a thing.
Oh yeah, pizza is a pie, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, I guess so.
Damn.
Wait.
Shout out to Spider-Man 2.
Definitely. Shout out to Spider-Man PS4.
Not as good as Spider-Man 2.
Nope.
I haven't played it.
Neither have I. 'Cause I don't
Not
have
as good as Spider-Man 2. Connor, can I buy your PS4 from you?
Oh, man.
Speaking of people wanting to do things with inside this friend group, hey Christian, when am I getting my fucking Xbox One?
Oh, Jesus.
Christian doesn't listen to the podcast, man.
What? He said he'd give it to me for free.
Oh, been there. It's because everyone wants to get rid of their Xbox Ones now.
Yeah. And I have games that I want to play on the Xbox One. What the fuck?
I feel like we're going a little too late for stories.
Well, I mean, remember, because did you cut the recording earlier when we were just cuffing around?
No.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Okay, so that means that, like, the first 30 minutes.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Which was just being dumb.
Yeah. Well, either
Speaking
way.
of which, we might release a blooper reel at some point.
Maybe.
Be on the lookout for our big memes.
I don't
But it's probably
maybe.
not happening. It might just be a personal, private video, but it's pretty masterful. We talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! For like an hour and a half last week.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Jacob's will edit it. Yeah, but I got a birthday story.
All right. What's your birthday?
One time one time I was having a birthday. I wish I had those more often.
No, please continue. I'm begging you.
Yeah, so I was having a birthday, right? And I had this, like, bomb-ass cake. And I was, like, rubbing, right? And I was feasting, I was munching, and I was having a good time. It was some good-ass cake. Like, later that night, I was, like, kind of tossing and turning in bed. Because I was, like, my tummy felt a little rumbly. So I was like, oh, man, this kind of sucks. I got, like, tummy grumblies. Maybe I should, like, eat something to, like, counterbalance. Like, maybe I'm just hungry. Or maybe my stomach's or something. So I, like, ate something, right? And I was like, okay, cool. And I went back to my bed, and I, like, laid down, and, like, now my stomach pains are worse. And I was like, oh, mistakes might have been made here, gamers. So, I started feeling, like, my mouth get heavy, and, like, start salivating, and immediately I was just like, what? No. This cannot be right. So I go into the bathroom, just hang over the toilet, I'm just sitting there. There's more saliva coming out, so I know what's going to happen. I'm like, okay, well, cool, I guess, whatever, it'll happen. I'm going to throw up. And the first thing I notice is the color. The color is a very striking white and blue. The same color of the frosting on my cake. And
Interesting,
Gabe.
Gabe.
I thought to myself, wow, that kind of sucked.
That's some bad frosting. That's another point for frosting ratio.
Yeah. And I was like, this kind of sucks. And I threw up some more, and I was like, ugh. And I was like, oh, what the hell? Why is it green? Apparently, the cake that I had some frosting on it that may or may not have been old.
Oh.
And so the blue food coloring started to morph into a green. I thought the cake was just white, blue, and green. But it was supposed to only be white and blue.
Oh.
So yeah, I had some old frosting on my cake, and I was not happy because I was throwing up for a while. Mom was like, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm good.
Wow.
Good story.
Thanks.
Honestly, I missed the first half or so because I had a debate that I might want to propose to you guys for another in my head.
We have so many, we need to get through those first. But you can put it on the list.
No, I seriously think we could do Coke versus Pepsi.
Oh, I'll fucking kill anyone who doesn't like Pepsi.
The Pepsi's supreme.
I feel like
Pepsi's
all three of
huge.
us like Pepsi.
Yeah.
We're all Pepsi boys.
Pepsi boys! Hey, let's go!
That
Pepsi
makes me
easy.
so happy.
Easy.
Oh my god.
Something we can
We
agree
can
on.
Yeah,
all
thank
agree.
God we can all agree that Pepsi's marginally better.
Oh my god. Jacob, do you have any cake or pie stories, or do you want to come back at the fact that you're the only Coke boy in the room?
So I am the only Coke boy, but that's fine.
Bitch!
What a big boy.
Should we have a Jacob special?
Jacob wants to fight for Coke someday.
Jacob versus all three of us.
Yeah.
3-on-1 handicap
Tell me
match.
it's yours as good as drugs, motherfucker.
Oh,
But
Fun fact. Pepsi used to be called... Oh, shit.
Beepus?
Brad's Drink. That was the original name of Pepsi.
Thanks, Brad.
Jacob, throw us a
Yeah,
story.
give us a story.
Shout out to Brad.
So, I was just there for this. It didn't happen to me. But you know the classic videos of someone slamming
The face into a pie?
the face
cake?
into a cake. Yeah.
Yeah, you never see those with pies.
So
Yeah, you
it was my sister's 13th birthday, and so they got her own little cake, and they were like, this is gonna be funny. We're gonna slam her head into the cake. So it was there was one small one.
There's a nail bomb in it.
Oh my god! It's the railway spike.
Oh no.
I mean, you would assume so because they slammed her head into the cake. Did it a little too hard. She got a bloody nose, so she bled into her personal cake. And then her nose is just bleeding. She's like, "Fuck!" At least this is how I remember it. So she goes to the she has to clean up, and her nose is fucking bleeding, so she stops that.
And the entire it was like a nicer cake for like her own like little personal one, like smash her fucking face. And so it was all just like ruined. There was like blood and
Man, strawberry shortcake. That looks great. Strawberry shortcake's good as fuck.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the story, Jacob.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. Connor, you want to throw anything out there?
No.
Any stories?
No stories?
No stories?
I can't think of anything.
It's because you're an early bird and you don't get to have fun stories. Anyways,
Wow.
thanks everybody for listening to episode 4 now
A big 4
of Intellectual Smackdown, and we'll be back
It sounded
next
like you said intellectual smackdown.
next
Intellectual
episode.
Smackdown. Come back next week, and you'll hear us argue over something else. Who's fighting next week? Is it me versus Gabe again?
It's you.
Yeah.
Actually. All right. Cool.
No.
Thanks.
Wait. Rate 5 stars.
On YouTube, I guess.
Oh, we're on SoundCloud now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're on
Oh
SoundCloud
shit,
now.
we're on SoundCloud. Listen to us on SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud's pretty solid.
Yeah.
We should get on a couple other, like, CastBox and that sort of thing.
We should.
I'll figure it out. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
GG, good podcast.